Hi, this is Majinoni, and here's another video for Marvel History, Know Your Marvel History. This is Daredevil, Frank Miller and Klaus Janson. Now, this is probably a Daredevil at its finest. I don't think, even like the newer Daredevil, even though it's been interesting and how they tried to ground it a little bit more into reality, this was some of the best Daredevil I've ever seen in my life. Just so you guys know, it's collecting, this volume here collects the editions of like Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man 27 and 28, and then Daredevil 158 through 161, and then 163 to 172. Now, there's two more volumes in this set, and I'll go over the other two volumes, so that way you get the complete run of total greatness. Now, this is like an older style for Miller, as you can see. It's a little bit more comic-y or comic book based, but this was awesome artwork. In a way, I think a lot of it was well ahead of its time, considering a lot of the art that was out in the comics. It's a little bit more violent, I guess you can say, because like when Daredevil threw his billy club, there was a lot of hits to the head, neck, things like that. People got killed, and so a lot of, it was really violent, is what I'm trying to say. Now, in this, it starts off with Peter Parker, because Daredevil makes a brief appearance, and what was interesting about this issue was Peter Parker lost his sight temporarily, and so he was freaking out, and then Daredevil basically calmed him down and helped him save the day type thing. Now, after that, we are treated to classic battles. You have Black Widow is in here. The beginning parts weren't that great, but the good parts were Bullseye. There's a lot of these later stories here dealt with Bullseye, and then even a little bit further, it goes on with the Kingpin. And it was like this was spectacular stuff. The Hulk even makes an appearance briefly, and a lot of this stuff here was basically designed to show Daredevil does not back down. He shows no fear, and it was a theme that would pop up every now and then, even in these issues here. There was times where Murdoch was just like, I could give up, but I don't back down. I just won't do it. I won't run. And I think that was one of the things that, made Daredevil truly fearsome superhero. He would do whatever it took, and he would never run. Also, actually, that whole concept also actually unnerved Bullseye at one point. Also, what I thought was really cool was you get Elektra in here, and there's a very brief beginning part where Matt meets Daredevil, so that was a nice plus. And there was also I can't even think. If I remember it, I'll come back to it. But this was I would highly recommend getting this, because in all honesty, you'll never see comics as good as this. I mean, now keep in mind, I understand people don't like Frank Miller's style, or they might not like older comics because it's dated. But if you really take the time to read the issues, and you just won't see this type of story anymore. The chances they took, in a way, I guess you could say Marvel and DC both kind of tend to play it safe at times, and then when they feel that they actually have to do something to shock you, to get you to buy an issue, that's when they'll throw so-and-so dies, or first startling appearance right on the cover. And what made these issues truly special is the gimmick wasn't what was important. What was important was the story. And that's why you'll never in a million years see another book like that ever again. I don't care how you praise Jeff Jones or Brian Bendis Yates or Hickman or any of those people. The bottom line is their stories are geared towards generating as much profit as you possibly can. If you can do a spin-off, you'll see a spin-off. If you see, if the sales are slacking, they'll throw in a couple characters, throw in a couple guest appearances, startling death. You see it all the time with the X-Men, with the deaths and crossovers and things like that. And for some reason, back in, the 80s or so, Marvel and DC both could write a story that was self-contained and full of heart, that was not totally corrupted by having to do 8 billion issues out of it. Oh yeah, now I just remembered what I was going to mention before. There's also this volume here actually cements the relationship between Matt Murdock, Daredevil, and Ned. Ned leads the news guy for the Bugle, who's now on Frontline. There was a very significant moment in time in this issue. I think all you Daredevil fans should know, or people who are somewhat current. But this is when Ned figures out Matt Murdock is Daredevil, and they have a conversation about Daredevil's origin, and Ned makes a decision that basically affects both of their lives. So, again, this was an amazing book. Truly, truly amazing. And I would highly recommend buying this. It might be harder to find now. I know that my comic store, they couldn't. I bought the second and third volume. They could never get this the first volume in, and I finally just found it on Amazon. So these might be hard to find, but if you find it, maybe they're reprinting it. I would highly recommend it. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. I'll rate the video up or down. Let me know what you think. I'll put more reviews up later. So until next time.